As the clock strikes midnight on December 31st, millions around the world celebrate the dawn of a new year. This night, the final one of the year, holds a unique place in the annals of human history. It's a night that signifies the closing of one chapter and the anticipation of another. It's a night of reflection, of resolution, of celebration. But why December 31st? Why is this night so universally significant? Let's rewind to the days of the old Julian calendar, named for Julius Caesar, who introduced it in 45 BC. December, the 10th month in the old Roman calendar, was deemed the last month of the year. When Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar in 1582, December retained its position, and the 31st became the definitive end of the year, a night of significance. But it's not just about calendars and dates, it's about the human need to mark the passage of time, to draw lines in the sand and say, this is where one period ends and another begins. It's about the universal desire for renewal, for a fresh start, something that transcends cultures and nations. From the dazzling fireworks that light up the Sydney Harbor Bridge to the iconic ball drop in Times Square, from the solemn watch night services in many African American churches, to the festive Réveillon feasts in Brazil, the 31st night brings people together in a global celebration of hope and continuity. Whether it's a quiet night spent at home with loved ones, a raucous party with friends, or a spiritual moment of reflection, the 31st night is a canvas for individuals to paint their own traditions and memories. So, as you count down the final seconds of the year, remember the layers of history that have shaped this unique night. Remember the collective human spirit that finds joy in the simple act of turning a page, of starting anew. The 31st night, a night filled with hope and celebration, has a rich historical background that many might not be aware of. As the clock strikes 12, let's toast to the past, the present, and the future that awaits. The celebration of the new year dates back to ancient times. Our journey begins with the ancient Babylonians, renowned for their advanced astronomical knowledge. Over 4,000 years ago, they celebrated the arrival of the new year, not in the dead of winter, but in late March, a time that coincided with the vernal equinox and the sowing of new crops. But the date of the new year wasn't set in stone. As civilizations rose and fell and as calendars evolved, so too did the date of the new year. Enter the Roman Empire, and with it, the Roman calendar. Originally, the new year was celebrated on March 1st. However, the Roman calendar was a convoluted system, often manipulated for political purposes. To rectify this, Julius Caesar introduced a new calendar in 46 BC, known as the Julian calendar. This shifted the new year to January 1st, a day dedicated to Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and transitions. Yet even this was not the end of the story. Fast forward to the late 16th century when Pope Gregory XIII introduced a new calendar to correct the drift of the Julian calendar. This, the Gregorian calendar, is the one we use today. It was gradually adopted across the world. And with it, the celebration of the new year on December 31st became more widespread. Throughout history, celebrating the new year has been about more than just turning a page on the calendar. It's a time to honor traditions, to reflect on the past, and to look forward to the future. And while the date may have changed, this sentiment remains the same. Indeed, the history of New Year's Eve is a fascinating tale of astronomy, politics, religion, and culture. It's a testament to our enduring desire to mark the passage of time and to start anew. As the calendar evolved, so did the date of New Year celebrations, eventually leading us to December 31st. New Year's Eve is not just about the celebration but also steeped in traditions and superstitions. Indeed, across the globe, December 31st is marked by a medley of customs and beliefs, each with its unique flavor. In Spain, for instance, as the clock strikes midnight, people eat 12 grapes, one for each chime. This tradition, known as Las 12 uvas de la suerte, or the 12 lucky grapes, is believed to bring prosperity and good luck for the coming year. It's a sweet yet frantic tradition, as you try to gobble up all 12 grapes before the final chime. Meanwhile, in Scotland, a different ritual takes place. As the first day of the new year begins, the Scots engage in first footing. This tradition involves being the first person to cross the threshold of a friend or neighbor's home after midnight. The first footer often brings symbolic gifts, such as coal to wish warmth or bread to wish food for the coming year. This custom is so ingrained in Scottish culture that failing to receive a first footer is considered a bad omen. In Denmark, people jump off chairs at midnight, symbolizing a leap into the new year and leaving behind bad spirits. In Japan, Buddhist temples ring their bells 108 times. in alignment with the Buddhist belief that this purifies the soul of 108 worldly desires known in Buddhism. These are just a few examples of the rich tapestry of traditions and superstitions that mark the transition from the old year to the new. They reflect the hopes, fears, and aspirations of people as they stand on the cusp of a new beginning, ready to bid goodbye to the past and welcome the future. Each of these customs, whether rooted in religious beliefs, cultural practices, or age-old superstitions, contributes to the unique character of the New Year's Eve celebrations. They add color, depth, and meaning to the festivities, making them more than just a party. These traditions and superstitions have shaped our modern celebrations, making December 31st a night of cultural significance. From ancient times to the present day, the celebration of December 31st has evolved and adapted. As we've journeyed through the corridors of time, New Year's Eve celebrations have seen quite a transformation. Today, they take on many forms, reflecting the diversity and dynamism of our global society. In many parts of the world, lavish parties are the norm, where people gather in homes, restaurants, clubs, or public spaces, adorned in their finest attire. The air is filled with laughter, music, and the clinking of glasses as people bid farewell to the old and welcome the new. Fireworks light up the night sky, painting it with a myriad of colors. These sparkling displays are not just a feast for the eyes, but also a symbol of hope and new beginnings. But perhaps one of the most iconic modern celebrations happens in the heart of New York City. The Times Square ball drop, a spectacle that has been around since the early 20th century, attracts millions of spectators each year. As the clock ticks down to midnight, all eyes are on the glittering crystal ball as it descends atop Times Square. The final countdown is a moment of anticipation and excitement shared by people across the globe. This global sharing of celebrations is made possible by the power of television and the internet. No longer are we confined to celebrating within our local communities. We can now participate in festivities happening halfway around the world, right from the comfort of our homes. We can watch the fireworks in Sydney, join the countdown in New York, or witness the lantern release in Thailand. Yet not all modern celebrations are grand and boisterous. Many people choose to spend the evening in a quieter, more introspective manner. Some may opt for a cozy night in with loved ones, while others might indulge in personal rituals or set intentions for the year ahead. Today, December 31st is a night of global celebration, a testament to our shared human experience. Regardless of how we choose to celebrate, it's a night that unites us in the shared hope for a brighter tomorrow. The 31st night is more than just a date on the calendar. It's a symbolic threshold, a passage from what was to what's yet to come. It's a moment suspended in time, where we stand at the precipice of the past and the future, looking back at the year that was and gazing forward into the year that will be. We've journeyed through the annals of history, from the earliest days of mankind, when our ancestors marked the end of each year by observing the cycles of the moon and the changing seasons. We've seen how these ancient celebrations evolved over centuries, imbibing the cultural flavors and spiritual beliefs of diverse civilizations. From there, we delved into the myriad traditions and superstitions associated with the 31st night. We learned how different cultures across the globe ring in the new year with rituals steeped in symbolism, intended to ward off evil, invite prosperity, and set the stage for a promising future. We then explored modern celebrations, a global spectacle of fireworks, music, and camaraderie. A night when streets come alive with revelry, when the sky is painted with colors, and when the air is filled with the collective hope of billions. Through it all, the 31st night has remained a constant, a universal moment of transition and transformation. It's a night that unites us all, regardless of where we come from or where we're going. It's a night that transcends geographical boundaries and cultural differences, embodying a collective human experience of reflection, celebration, and anticipation. As we bid farewell to the old year and welcome the new, let's remember the rich history and deep significance of this night. Let's honor the past, celebrate the present, and dream of the future. And as the clock strikes midnight, let's embrace the promise of a new beginning, a fresh start, and infinite possibilities. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insightful content.